You know that feeling when a Hollywood legend sets a boundary and the entire rumor mill calls it a scandal? That's the energy tonight. Meghan sent a gift, the internet swears Robert De Niro turned it down, and the takes are getting wild. But here's the twist. We're not starting with the rumor, we're starting with the receipts. Because on August 11th, Khloe Kardashian posted a giant wicker basket from Meghan's As Ever brand, complete with wine. That happened. We can see it. We know Meghan's in full gifting mode right now. We know the wine is part of a broader lifestyle push tied to her rebrand and her Netflix glow-up. That's the part everyone agrees on. The question is what happened when that basket, or something like it, allegedly landed near Robert De Niro's world. But first, let's clock why De Niro matters. He is not an influencer. He is not chasing a hashtag. He's 82, he's Hollywood royalty, and he's allergic to gimmicks. A nod from him is priceless, and silence from him is louder than most press releases. So, if a basket stamped with a royal-coded brand really hit his orbit and he said no thanks, that's more than a snub. That's a signal. Now, the rumor racing around social says Meghan sent an HRH-tagged luxury basket and De Niro shut it down. Some videos call it a public rejection. Others claim he told her team to keep it. Sounds spicy, right? None of those channels show a real doc with his signature, a publicist quote, an email header, or a clerk log. It's lots of narration, lots of captions, and zero verifiable paper. Meanwhile, the real paper we do have shows Meghan shipping baskets elsewhere that same week. And that's important. Let's talk strategy. Meghan's brand, formerly American Riviera Orchard, now As Ever, is built around curated moments, a soft-focus kitchen, handwritten notes, and lifestyle items that look good on camera. You include a cheeky line that feels personal. It's aspirational PR 101. It's also risk 101, because once you start sending baskets to power players, silence becomes review. So what would De Niro have seen if something reached him? A monogrammed card, a Napa Rosé with a pretty label, maybe produce, maybe flowers, maybe a cutting board. The whole thing says, I'm tasteful, I'm thoughtful, I'm elite. But De Niro's brand says, I'm work. He's the man who can walk into a room and make everyone else look like they're trying too hard. He does not need a starter kit for clout. If you're Meghan's camp, you want a repost, a candid, a quote like, appreciate the gesture. You want proof of acceptance. If you're De Niro's camp, you want no part of a social media rollout you didn't approve. Best case scenario for Meghan? A quiet thank you and a discreet photo later. Worst case, the basket gets bounced at the door, and someone in the building tells a friend, who tells a blog, who tells the internet. Here's where things go off the rails. Anti-Meghan channels see a vacuum. No public thank you from De Niro, and fill it with a story. He rejected the gift. He said keep it. He humiliated her. The language gets more dramatic with every upload, but the more dramatic it gets, the weirder it is that we have no actual documentation. Not a screenshot of an email, not a text from a publicist, not a photo of the unopened crate on a loading dock. We have rumor, not receipt. Now let's flip it. Imagine for a second that the rejection did happen. How would Meghan react? Here's the honest answer. The reaction is never public. You do not post an angry story about a snub. You do not run to a mic. You pivot. You flood the zone with friendlies. You send 3 more baskets to people who will open them on camera. You seed cozy coverage about how the wine sold out, how the jam restocked, how the note was cheeky. You make the silence look like a choice. And if you're De Niro, you maintain radio silence, because silence is the point. He doesn't have to clap back. He doesn't have to reject. He just has to do nothing, and the nothing speaks. That's why his name is in the headline. It's not because he said a word. It's because not saying a word, if it happened, says everything. But let's come back to the facts on the table. Meghan's team is pushing wine and lifestyle goods. We have documented deliveries to celebrities who posted them. We have magazine coverage of the brand shift and the sales beats. We also have a pile of unverified videos insisting De Niro refused a gift, without anything more than narration. That contrast is your story. On one side, visible baskets with names attached. On the other, a rumor. Everyone loves to repeat because it fits a narrative. So why does that narrative work? Because Meghan's image splits audiences. To some, she's a hustler, a builder, a mom who turned Montecito into a business plan. To others, she's a headline factory chasing relevance. And few things feel more chasing relevance than sending a curated gift to a legend who built a career on not caring. That's why the rumor took off. It scratches an itch. Another layer. The timing. De Niro's birthday in mid-August gave rumor channels a perfect hook. Tie a basket to the birthday. Tie a refusal to the basket. Add a spicy line like, "keep it," and suddenly you've packaged a story people can picture in a single frame. A courier at a door, a shrug, a refusal, a phone call back to Montecito. It feels cinematic. It feels like a De Niro scene. That's why you clicked. But truth lives in boring details. If a rejection letter exists, it has a date, a sender, a subject line. If a basket was returned, there's a tracking number and a warehouse scan. If security turned it away, there's a log. And if any of those things were screen grabbed, the rumor channels would be flooding the timeline with them. Instead, they're recycling the same narration, the same stock photos, the same hyperbole. Now, about Meghan's alleged reaction. The loudest reaction is often the quietest change in strategy. After a cold shoulder from a legend, real or imagined, you double down where you win. You aim at the Kardashians, influencers, lifestyle editors, people who convert. You place the wine in kitchens that film well. You make the brand feel like a friend's recommendation, not a royal decree. You let the audience forget the snub they never actually saw. There's also the optics math. A De Niro nod has legacy prestige. A Kardashian nod has reach and speed. In 2025, reach and speed often beat prestige at checkout. So even if the De Niro rumor is fiction, it still reveals a real decision tree at her brand. Chase icons or chase conversion? The basket on Khloe's story answers that for now. Let's be blunt about why people want the rumor to be true. We love to see a powerful person told no. We love boundaries. We love the idea that Hollywood still has gatekeepers who cannot be bought with a crate of rosé, and De Niro, of all people, feels like the last man standing in that era. A good rep says, "We don't accept unsolicited gifts." A good assistant says, "We appreciate the thought." And the door never opens. No drama, no spectacle, just policies and manners. If that's how it went down, none of us would see a thing. So where does that leave us? With a tale of two realities. In one, Meghan got iced by a legend and the internet is cackling. In the other, her brand did what brands do, gifted product to friends and high-reach targets, and rumor channels built a De Niro plotline out of thin air. The only concrete thing we can prove is the gifting strategy itself and the baskets that did appear on camera. Everything else is smoke until someone shows a document. Here's a final piece of media literacy. When a story uses phrases like reportedly, sources say, and everyone's talking about, but never shows you who, where, or what, it's not a receipt, it's a vibe. And vibes make great thumbnails, but they don't win in the long run. Receipts win, screenshots win, signatures win, warehouse scans win. If the snub is real, those things exist. We just haven't seen them. So, how did Meghan react when Robert De Niro supposedly turned down her gift? Publicly, she didn't. She kept moving, kept shipping, kept branding. Privately, if the story is true, she learned a valuable lesson about aiming a wicker basket at an immovable object. The reaction wasn't a meltdown, it was a reroute. And how did De Niro react? By not reacting at all. If he declined, the decline was handled quietly, professionally, and permanently. The way adults handle awkward mail. That's the part the rumor channels won't say out loud. A no that never becomes content is the most devastating no of all. Zoom out one more time. Meghan wants to build a lifestyle empire that feels warm and personal. De Niro wants to keep his name where it belongs, on timeless work, not on someone else's marketing plan. Those two goals collide the moment a branded basket meets a guarded threshold. One side needs attention, the other side needs none. That's not a feud, that's physics. So the real headline isn't the snub, it's the strategy. Meghan's camp is flooding the zone with moments that can be screenshotted and shared. Some land, some don't. The rumor. Machine races to fill the blanks with drama, and Hollywood keeps doing what Hollywood always does. Smiling when it helps, going silent when it doesn't. If a clean receipt ever appears, we'll revisit this in a heartbeat. Until then, remember the rule we live by here? If there's no doc, it's a plotline, not a fact. And in a town built on plotlines, the smartest player isn't the one who screams no the loudest. It's the one who never lets the basket become a scene. In the end, the hero of this story is the boundary. The villain is the spin. And the lesson is simple. Meghan can mail a moment, but only the recipient decides if it becomes a memory. Villain aimed to destroy hero, but ultimately destroyed themselves.